I'm going to show you how to replace the analog stick on a left Joy-Con. What we're going to need today, a pry tool, a screwdriver with Y00 and Phillips 00, and maybe some tweezers. We're going to start by removing the back shell with our Y00 screwdriver. There are 4 total screws. Once those 4 screws are removed, this back panel will pull off. Be careful, there are some ribbon cables we need to be mindful of. You'll see there's 2 ribbon cables right there in between. We're just going to leave that off to the side, just like that. No need to disconnect anything. Next, we need to lift up this battery. So to do that, I'm just going to use a plastic pry tool. Just get it underneath here. There's a little bit of adhesive, but it's not too strong. And then you can just set this off to the side. Now we're going to switch over to Phillips 00. And we have 1, 2, 3 screws. With those 3 screws removed, the mid frame will come out. Be careful, there's another ribbon cable. And we're just going to take that mid frame and put it over to the side here, and there's our ribbon cable. Now we can see our main board, and here's the analog stick right here. The analog stick has 2 screws. One of those screws is underneath this ribbon cable. I'm actually going to remove these 2 boards up here with these 3 screws to allow us to get to that screw. Okay, now you can just take these 2 cables here and move it off to the side. And now we've got access to both screws for the analog stick. I'm actually going to go ahead and disconnect the ribbon cable for the analog stick first. And we're going to do that by lifting up on this lock. There we go. Now I will unscrew both screws. When you lift out the analog stick, be careful. There is a plastic shroud sticker underneath it. You don't want to pull it off. So just kind of wiggle it free. And you can see that plastic sticker shroud there. That can lift off, so just be very careful. Just kind of wiggle it out. And there's our old stick. Let's go ahead and put the new one in. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to install the ribbon cable first. And I am going to take this mid frame and just get it out of my way. So I'm just going to go ahead and just place it over here for a second. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure my lock is up, which it is. And then just push this ribbon cable into place. And this is where those tweezers might come into hand. This is where those tweezers might come in handy. You can just gently grab that cable and push it into place. And once it's in, we can go ahead and push down that lock. I like to push the lock down with my finger, but if you have larger hands, you can use the pry tool as well. Just be very careful, you don't want to break anything. And then I'm just going to give this a little tug. Let's get our mid frame back out of our way. And I'm just going to grab on the analog stick and just give it a light tug, make sure we're secure. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to push this analog stick back through that hole, again being very careful about that shroud. And we're going to put our screws back in. And you'll see my shoulder button popped out a little bit. You can just push that back into place. All right, now the analog stick is installed, I'm going to put our ribbon cable back up top. And there's little guiding holes. You're just gonna push it into place up here and then put our screws in. And with those buttons, the other option is you could disconnect this ribbon cable and do it that way. I just prefer to leave the ribbon cable connected, and that's why I remove these two pieces up here. Okay, now that that is put back in its place, we can go ahead and put the mid frame back in. Be careful, you want to make sure the battery cable is above the mid frame. Now we can put the battery back in place, just flipping it in, and the top shell. Flip back to our Y00. Be cautious, these screws are not magnetic, so a lot easier to lose. At the end, just gonna go around and press the buttons, make sure everything feels okay, make sure nothing got knocked out of place. Everything's good. All right, guys, that's how you replace the analog stick on a Nintendo Switch Joy-Con. A little bit of difficulty there, but with the patience and the proper tools, you don't need to solder anything. I think it's a doable fix for most people. I hope this video gave you more confidence in your ability to fix things like this. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.